Hi everybody, it's Gary Powers with Promac Equipment. Today we're going to introduce you to our latest version of our low-flow skid steer mulcher. We call it the HSL 60. It is intended for 75 to 95-ish horsepower skid steers running on low flow, anywhere from 20 to 30-ish gallons a minute and around 3,500 psi. So this machine has been completely redesigned, utilizing all of our latest innovations. And today I'd like to walk you through a few of the features of this machine and why we feel it's very competitive and very top-end mulcher for the low-flow skid steer. Some of the features of the machine that we would like to go over are the business end of the machine, very similar to our high-flow skid steer mulcher, has got a bite limiter, or what we call a CPR, Chip Production Rotor, we call it. And in this particular case, we show here where we have knives, reversible knives in the tool holders, and these are very common in the industry. We also have the ability in this particular system to add, as you see here, we've got beaver teeth, 2 5/16 beaver teeth, very common and very economical. We also have, here we have our swappable knives, and then we also have the ability to put on double carbides for rocking conditions. So other features of this machine that are class leading, within the drum liner we have an AR400 welded in replaceable liner. It is 1/4 inch in thickness, and within a couple hours, I would imagine, take out the drum and then replace the liner. A little more work than what we would have in our other machine, our high flow, which has a much easier liner to remove because it's got bolted connections. The other important things of this, it's got welded on AR400 skid shoes, and also the other, which we can't really see, we'll go underneath and take a look at it, but there's AR400 Anvil on the back side of this, on the entrance of the drum, between the drum and the liner, and that's segmented so it can be easily replaced as well. The other features of this machine that are pretty unique, it's for a low flow skid steer, so we've got a 55 variable Rexroth, in this case, variable torque motor. So it allows us to get the good low end torque plus the speed we need to take advantage of the inertia of the drum. The other interesting features, the drive is a Cog Belt Drive, very similar to our high flow machines, exactly the same kind of setup, and very robust and very common as well in the industry. One of the things we built into the design of the machine is very accessible maintenance. So as you can see here is our drive hydraulic drive motor. Removal of the end cover will get you pretty much all of the sheaves and bearing housings and that. The other thing we've incorporated into this machine, which we have heard and is real common in the skid steer industry, is if you have a blocked case drain, you can get overpressuring of the case, and it can split the case of the motor. So we have built-in overpressure protection on all of our skid steer models, and that overprotection essentially indicates itself in a weeping of oil out one of the ports on the other side of the machine, where the operator, in a safe way, it comes out, but the operator can see it if you have an overpressure, and you can deal with it before you have a failed case on your motor, which is very expensive. Very similar to our other skid steer machines and our other mulcher series, we have extensive use of high-strength steel throughout the frame of this machine. All of the skins you see and all of the structural components are all QT100, in other words, about 3 times the strength of normal steel. And that allows us to keep both the rigidity and the strength of the machine up, but also keep the weight down. This machine, as you see here, is around 2,100 pounds, and that should be more than handle handleable, so to speak, with a low flow skid steer. And the other interesting feature of this machine is the distance between the center of mass and the pin up for the skid steer is very close. So as a result, you got very little weight hanging out beyond the skid steer, which makes it feel much lighter, especially in this when you have a smaller skid steer that you're putting it on. So at the business end of the machine, underneath, we have a replaceable segmented anvil, which controls the size of material that goes makes its way between the drum liner and the drum itself. The idea behind this is you can actually replace these as parts of them wear. You can swap them around if it is not evenly wearing, and then obviously replace them when need be. We also have a replaceable chain, very easy to remove and replace the links. If you lose a link, we have bolt ups on the end, throw which the rod would pass through, and you thread the links back in. Very easy to maintain. You can see again the different tooling that we can offer on this machine: the carbides, swappable knives, and the very common beaver teeth. So the reason you'd go with this different type of tooling, obviously, the beaver teeth we find are very economical and very common, and they perform very well. The knives give you more of an aggressive bite in our case, and it actually is a little more productive than the beaver tooth, and then the carbides for rocky conditions. We have other things to note on this machine is we got dust seals, so we try to keep obviously debris and dust out from between the drum and the dry shaft, and also cable cutters on this as well, that if you happen to get cable spooled around the drum, it's going to cut before it gets wrapped around the shaft and into the bearing seals.